Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. Real quick, when I say live, what I mean is that I'm recording myself right now in real time, seeing the information, seeing the data for the very first time. So to respect your time, if you are looking for a video where the person's got hindsight in their favor and they're doing a trade recap or something like that, this won't be a video for you. But if you are open to the idea of an unscripted, nitty-gritty look into what it's like to be a day trader and how day trading can play out, then I'm confident you'll find value in this video. So I will go ahead and pause the recording software for now, and I'll be back at market open. I have an order at 1750 to pick up some calls here. Let's go to actually 1670 now. I am doing options, and if that doesn't mean anything to you, just put in the comment section guide please, or option guide please, something like that, and I will link you to a completely free class that I put together that will walk you, called the Big Basics of Options, and it'll help bring some clarity to all this so you can better understand what I'm doing. So again, if you have no idea or you have a very little idea of what I mean when I say I'm trading options, like I said, just comment below options guide and I'll send you a link to that. So I'm looking to buy some calls at 1670. In other words, the price is going to need to drop down a bit more, but I'm watching very closely. I'll go ahead and pause and keep an eye on it. Okay, I'm now at 1550 for calls. Let's see if it wants to come down a bit more. Okay, at this point, let's go to 1470. So just want to see another surge to the downside. Okay, come on. Keep coming. Just come down a bit more. Maybe that was... See if it wants to drop. All right, well now a little bit of a bounce here, so I'll go ahead and pause. Have an order for 25 now for a put. Although I'm not quite sure, did news just come out? It's 9:45. I'll time that up for a little bit. Let's go 2350. Try to play. Yeah, that's a much better spot. Up around 450.40. So looking to play a put now if this thing wants to bounce up a bit more. I'll keep a close eye on it and I will pause. Okay, I have an order for a call here at 2220. Just trying to play this little consolidation range. So it does need to come down a bit more within this range. I will go ahead and pause. I went ahead and canceled that order. I don't know if it was, but when you don't know, I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of caution. Felt like potentially just a forced trade. So I'm going to, like I said, maybe it wasn't, and I don't think it's a total, like, it makes sense, but again, does it make as much sense as what it probably should? I don't know. Therefore, I'm going to just cancel that order out because, yeah, I'm getting a little antsy. Market's been open for a while and still haven't even really come that close to getting filled. So I'm sure there's some antsiness in my mindset right now. So I got to be aware of that. Same with you. Always be asking yourself, am I getting maybe a little too antsy? So, right, there's 2220. Okay, so I would have been filled. And not necessarily. Would like to see that number have gone down to, this number right here, have gone down to 22. Okay, it hit at 22, so I would definitely have been filled, and this number needs to hit 2290 in order for me to say I would have gotten out, because I would have went for 2270. 80. So, like I said, we'll just mentally paper trade that. There it is, 90. Okay, so I would have been okay, but like I said, I'd rather just err on the side of caution. Okay, I will pause. Now, we could have some comedy on our hand, but the channel just continues. So it's one of those things where, is it going to finally flush to the downside after I go along the channel? And so I'm going to put an order at 2120 just because it says I should. This thing is just chopping. So there's no reason to think that it won't keep chopping. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed, and that's where the comedy would come in. The time where I finally decide to buy the channel, it no longer becomes a channel. And if that happens, then that'll just be a good illustration that that's just sometimes how it works. The time that you decide to play a certain pattern or play, you know, into this situation, a channel. Oh, well, that's the time where it doesn't actually work out. So, I mean, have you ever been there before already? Let me know in the comment section. You know, I've been there and I'm aware it could happen here, but I'm also aware that, yeah, this thing is just a sideways channel right now. Now, if you have some sort of magical, mystical indicator that you know that this thing is about to really break to the downside, then again, let me know in the comment section, because that would be very impressive. That would be a very worthwhile crystal ball indicator. But of course, don't be coming and telling me after it breaks down why it happened. That'd be a little bit too much confirmation bias. But if you can say that right now, when we don't know what happens next, when we look to the right here, right? What do I mean by that? Well, when we look to the right in this direction and just see this void of darkness, you know, what's coming next? That's why trading is very, very difficult. Now, trading is very easy if you look to the left. If you look this way and look at hindsight and look and see what's already happened, well, then yeah, it's very easy to say what you should have done, what I should have done, what you could have done. I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda, all that stuff becomes very, very evident at that point. But when you look to the right and just see the void of darkness, what is going to come next? That is what trading. That's why trading's hard, and that's why books don't work, right? Books are just based on this. Book will be like, oh yeah, you should have bought right there, and then you should have sold right there. It's like, well, cool. Yeah, it's easy to say that when you already know what happened. And maybe it's going to try to make a move to the upside of the channel here. All right, so if it does, and it is, let me flip things around and look for a put. So we'll see if it wants to come up a bit more here. Put something out there at 25. I will go ahead and pause. Okay, I have an order at 2070 to try to play, again, the bottom part of this range. Went up, it's come back down, so we're going to test and bounce. We'll see, but I do want to see it come down a bit more. I want to be buying right around that blue line. Okay. 2010. There is a bit of a guessing game in the sense of where the price is going to be when it's down around that blue line. So I'm now at 2010. So you see the price isn't quite at that blue line yet. But I'm at 2010 for a call. Okay, coming down. There we go. Almost. So I like 2010. In. And out for a $50 move. Very good. So there we go. So confirmation bias also, it worked out there, but the way the mind works is, had it not worked out, it's like, oh, that always happens to me. As soon as I jump in and play the pattern, it doesn't work, right? I think we've all been there too, because here's a situation, I can't say that. I played the pattern, played the bottom part of this range. Like I said, wanted to buy right around that blue line, and it worked out. So, but had I, you know, the next, I guarantee you, if I take another trade like this and it doesn't work out, then the voice in my head are going to want to say, typical. Whenever we do that, Clay, because right, it's the voice in my head and me. But whenever we do that, Clay, it just doesn't work. That's confirmation bias. You're discarding all the times where it does work, and you're just hyper focused on the time where it doesn't. And then that creates a whole victim mentality, which the markets are rigged against me. You know, it's the market maker's fault. So just be very careful. Now, I do like this yellow line too, if that comes into play. So it needs to come down a bit more. I'm going to go ahead and change strike prices. That's why the price of these over here just changed, because I changed strike prices again. That's all options talk, which you can learn about in that class. Like I said, just let me know down below. Going to put an order out there at 24.80 just in case we get the move down there. And we are. It's starting to work its way down there. Got some more work to do. Right, I'll pause for now. Okay, well, never mind on that, as it's bounced back up. So I'll go ahead and cancel that and maybe look to try to play some sort of put if it continues on up here. But all right, I'll pause. Have an order at 1474 puts in, out for... What happened? Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. I nailed that. And now I was only going for 30 cents. I actually got 40 cents, which gave me $80. But now look where it's at, because the price hit me and then just crashed up. So I'm not exaggerating. Had I had like a finger spasm and I would have not pressed the button for another second, and again, I'm not trolling, this is true, you can go back and watch, but had I just had a finger spasm and it cost me 1 second to press the sell button, I would have had, I think, like another $100, because it absolutely hit me and then has crashed. I mean, I'm grateful I got more than what I was even trying, but well, that's disappointing. I mean, I'm talking out of pure greed, because again, I was only going for $60 and I made $80. But to see that, that's just how it goes with a sniper shot sometimes, you know? Other times though, it would have hit me, it would have filled me, got me out for profit, and then skyrocketed against me. And I'd be sitting here saying, well, geez, I'm glad I did the sniper shot because it worked out well. That would, you know, but of course in this situation, and this is why I love these, because you can't plan this stuff out. So here's a quiz. What kind of bias is occurring right now? Right? Hindsight bias, right? Like, because right now I'm talking about, oh, geez, had I done this? And I'm completely discounting the fact of, yeah, Clay, but the whole point of the sniper shot is what happens if it hits you, came down a little bit, and that little bit right there would have created the profit and then skyrocketed up. Then what would you be saying? You'd be saying, oh, I'm glad I picked this strategy. But now for the past 10 seconds, I've been, you know, ranting and raving and complaining about the fact that, oh, I wish I would have just waited one more second and blah, blah. And I'm sitting here sounding like a little baby. Oh, the human mind, such an interesting place. I mean, the very same video where I'm talking about this hindsight confirmation bias, and then I just go and do the same thing with that trade. But in all seriousness, that's kind of crazy to think that I was super, super quick in and out, and I still was able to get $20 more than what I thought I was going for. But had I been just that 1 second more, that would have been crazy. But it is what it, that was wild. And again, I realized, what are you talking about, Clay? 1 second more would have given you $100 more. Yeah, maybe even more, honestly. Just go back and watch, you know, scroll back and you'll see that how fast over here these changed and how fast that number came up after hitting me at 1470. So, okay, well, I got to switch things around now and think about potentially going long again. So I got to look at some calls. But great psychology here. If you've never traded before or have very little experience, maybe this seems like just kind of a wasted time talking point, like what's this? But if you have traded that, I'm sure you can relate to these mind games that, well, I hope you can. I hope I'm not the only crazy person out there, but I have a sneaky suspicion that you can relate if we're being honest with kind of these voices that can tend to show up. But I got to remind myself, you have to remind myself, what was your strategy? Did you stick to the strategy? If you answered yes, then who cares what happened next? Because technically speaking, had I just all of a sudden decided, no, I'm not going to do a sniper shot, I broke rules. Because the rule was do a sniper shot strategy. And if I was all of a sudden not doing it, you know, that's quite a bit of gray areas there all of a sudden in terms of rule breaking. But so to encourage you, we've all been there. We've all picked a strategy that turned out to be the completely wrong strategy. Even though it still worked, you would say, well, geez, had I done my other strategy, I would have made so much more. Yeah, that happens on some trades, but you got to remember, on other trades, it saved you. It's given you a gain when other people that chose the other strategy would have passed up on a gain and then ended up with a loss. So there's always give and take. All right, I will pause. Sorry. No, I mean, I'm not sorry for the ranting and raving. This is, this is real trading. This is what happens, but that's why I want to just share the psychology games that can occur, because I don't think they ever quite go away. I think that the goal is you just got to be able to recognize them and know how to deal with them. So, okay, I will pause. I have an order at 2350. Oh, I was right down there. It did not film me though. If you look, you'll see that this was basically right down at 2350 where my order was, but I did not get filled. And that's what happens when you try to buy in the bid. Sometimes you're not always going to get filled. It just comes with the territory. All right, I'll pause. I have an order at 2350. Okay, well, It's pausing right below where I wanted it in, so I'm going to just adjust that down now to 22.50. So didn't quite get my entry point where I wanted when it was up at that pink line there. So going to just adjust now. I will pause. Have an order at 24.10. Got to go to 23.10 now. Things are picking up a little bit here on this downwards move. I will pause. Okay, I have an order at 22.10. In. And in at 22.10. And out. That was a lot more difficult than what I thought it would be. And honestly, forced a little bit. Here's my proof on that. No hindsight here. Check out the lows of these candles. I was thinking that probably should be the area where I look to buy. And look, you can't make this stuff up. Look right where it bounced off of, that blue line. So I tried to get in a little bit ahead of the blue line, and everything was still fine because I knew that blue line was still there. Thought, you know, let's see if it creates a bounce. It clearly did create a bounce, and I still got out with my main target. But I definitely forced that one. So let's see if this thing wants to come down some more to 449.50. So I'm going to hold myself accountable because I know this over here needs to be around 449.50 before I even try to buy. So now I have accountability partners here. And if I try to buy before then you will know that I have broken rules. I am not following what I say that I want to do. So I am going to throw an order out there just in case there's a quick move down. But if the order gets, or if the price gets down around that area and, you know, it's not yet at 449.50, then I'll be sure to cancel that out. But that's the current plan right now. I'll go ahead and pause. Well, that's all I have. I'm going to wrap things up, and some good psychology. Unfortunately, I was kind of the guinea pig of the psychology experiment. But yeah, if you can relate to anything that I went through using kind of the jumps in logic and the confirmation biases and all the other different types of biases that exist. If you can relate to those, just understand you're not alone. It happens to us all. And like I said earlier, I don't think they ever disappear. It's just more of a skill of learning to recognize them and then know what to do when they show up. But so overall, yeah, I wish it was a little bit more, but all things considered, I'll take it. And I'm pleased with it. Now, as I talk, this thing's coming up. So do I want to try for one more? So maybe I lied. Let me pause. And if this thing wants to come up to up around the 450, 15-ish area, I might be interested. So give me a second. All right, never mind. It is coming back down. Never got up to where I want it to be. So that is all I have for you. So I don't know, a day of psychology, a day of real psychology. I don't know what I'll call this, but I'll think of something to do with psychology because that was by far the most important thing from this video. It's just to see how the trading psychology can work and all that. But if you enjoy these live trade videos, if you'd like for me to continue to make these, please do a couple things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. If you can relate to anything I went through psychology-wise, why don't you type relate? Just RELATE, relate, or I can relate, or anything like that. So hopefully I'm not alone. But if it happens to you, like I said, you are definitely not alone. So take care. Thanks for watching. Like I said, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.